If you're tired of living with herpes, you've reached the right place. And in the next couple of minutes, I'll tell you a story that will reveal how I almost ruined my entire life and how I managed to fix it forever, despite the fact that all of the doctors I've seen told me that my herpes condition, HSV2, has no permanent cure. And yet, I found a natural cure on my own that's permanent and can cure any herpes virus in 30 days. And it doesn't matter if you have HSV1 or HSV2. And best of all, it has no side effects and is very cheap. That's right. Finally, your prayers have an answer. You just need to watch this video in the next few minutes to find out what it is. But before telling my own herpes story, I want to ask you something. Do you feel hopeless right now? Do you feel like your confidence and self-esteem could benefit if you just get rid of this condition? Do you feel like hiding your condition from everyone because they might think you're slutty for getting an STD in the first place? Do you feel like your life has ended because of itching, burning, and the look of your outbreaks? Believe me, I completely understand exactly how you feel right now. I was in the same situation you are now, and I've personally experienced all the symptoms you have, including the constant burning, the itching, and the fear of dating someone because at some point I'd have to reveal my secret. A secret that could drive him away, which could make the condition even worse, because then you'd also have to live with constant rejection. I know, but what you might be wondering right now is how did it happen to me, right? Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not keen to share this personal story, and I'm sure you know what I mean. You don't go and brag about your current condition to anyone you meet. In fact, you might not even tell anyone because it's a deep personal matter, and most people wouldn't be able to understand the misery you're going through right now, so sharing it could actually do more harm than good. I personally know how it feels to live with herpes and the fear of embarrassing outbreaks. I'm pretty sure, like most of you seeing this video, I came in contact with genital herpes when I was around 21 years of age. One of my ex-boyfriends, I don't know which one, gave me this lovely gift that has, of course, outlasted the relationship. Now, I only had a couple of partners until that age, but none had any symptoms of having an STD, and none of them mentioned anything about this kind of stuff. So I've always felt like there's no way it could happen to me. But guess what? It did. And as I've later found out, herpes can be hidden, and you can have it without experiencing any visual signs. My first outbreak didn't occur until I was single, when I've been diagnosed with HSV2 on my genitalia. Again, I never noticed anything on any of my ex-boyfriend's bodies that was a sore or that could lead me to believe he ever had anything. One of them told me, long after he was with me, that he just found out he had it. I really hope my story helps you too, because you should know there's life after herpes, and there's a permanent cure that is natural and has no side effects. I'm living proof of that. You see, my story began with what I thought was a yeast infection, awful itching and slight discomfort down there. So I purchased over-the-counter meds and began treating it. A week later, it was only worse, so I took the best path I knew. I scheduled the doctor's appointment, and the doc did her exam. She believed it was a yeast infection, even after I told her that I already took meds for this condition. She said that what I took wasn't powerful enough and gave me some more expensive medicine that should fix the problem. A few days later, I still had no relief. I began feeling ill, high fever, chills, body aches, a bit of an upset tummy. I was miserable. My yeast was getting worse, and I thought, well, maybe it's because I have a fever and I'm sick. Then I tried to get out of bed, and my parts felt extremely heavy and sore. I went to the bathroom and pulled out a mirror. On my left side labia, I had a sore the size of Montana that had a huge crater pus-like head. There were several smaller ones everywhere that looked the same. I even had 2 on my clitoris that I wasn't sure what to think of. The only thing I knew was I was sure the fact that they hurt and itched like hell. This was now 2 weeks into my yeast infection from hell, so I scheduled another appointment. In the doctor's office, she cultured the big one and informed me she believed it was herpes. I was floored and embarrassed. She gave me a prescription for acyclovir and sent me home. A week later, the results came back. I was HSV2, and for a long month, I was miserable. I was in shock, humiliated, and pissed because I didn't know where I got it from, and the sores were very uncomfortable. So I went back to my doctor because my outbreaks wouldn't go away. When I met her, I asked why the outbreaks aren't disappearing, and she told me there's no permanent cure for herpes. I was traumatized. I didn't deserve this. Nobody did. Since then, I've tried acyclovir, farmaciclovir, and Valtrex, and none of them would fix my condition. What was even worse were the side effects: extreme tiredness, dizziness, lower back pain, which signals kidney problems, hair loss, nausea. All of these while having constant blistering outbreaks. It was simply awful. Sure, sometimes the outbreaks would disappear for a week or two, but then suddenly I'd wake up with itching and outbreaks all over my vagina. I was desperate. I started to feel like a life sentence, like I was stuck behind bars and couldn't enjoy living anymore. I didn't know what to do, so I started reading everything I could find online. I needed to find a way if I ever wanted to have a normal life again, and maybe get married to someone I love, and hopefully have kids. But since I knew the doctors would just prescribe more of the medicine mentioned, I had to focus on the alternative, natural route. So I found myself constantly spending 3 to 4 hours a day on documenting my problem, doing hundreds of Google searches, and nothing would seem to work out the way I wanted to. Weeks were passing, and I had the same symptoms while questions were starting to go through my mind. Questions like, will I be single the rest of my life? Will I ever feel alive like I felt before I discovered I had herpes? But I kept on researching. And after months and months of reading books, going to the library, interviewing alternative medicine users, and researching subjects while testing it on my own body, I finally found it. I finally found something that worked, and even now, 2 years after I saw consistent results, I can tell you that I don't have outbreaks anymore. It doesn't itch anymore. It doesn't burn anymore. Imagine how that would feel. Not to mention the wonderful sex life I have with my current boyfriend, who will soon hopefully be my husband. I'm so happy. Right now, I'm living what years ago seemed impossible. But don't worry, because I haven't forgotten about your problem and pain I had when I was diagnosed with herpes. And because I know that there are a lot of girls who have very similar conditions just like I did, I've decided to put all my knowledge, the research, and the natural solution into an easy-to-understand guide called Home Herpes Revolution. Inside Home Herpes Revolution, you'll find everything you need to know in order to cure your herpes disease permanently, including the exact natural treatment that you should follow so that you can treat your condition in the next 30 days. Treatment that's been researched and tried since the year 1856. You'll understand what are the 8 types of herpes viruses, but we'll focus on the 2 that are frequent in 99.7% of all herpes cases, HSV1 and HSV2. Most likely you have one of these cases, and this guide can help you. Besides the natural permanent treatment, you'll also understand what are the alternative methods for getting rid of herpes, because I researched and tested everything from the diet method, where I'll show you what and what not to eat, to even the olive oil method. Although these are not part of the actual treatment, I've included them because I've personally tested them, and I want you to be aware of all the natural ways that can help you. You can also understand why outbreaks occur so that you can consciously destroy all chances of getting another one for your entire life. That's right. You can say goodbye to those nasty outbreaks that occur every couple of weeks. You can say goodbye to the feeling like your life is over. You can say goodbye to expensive treatments with side effects that either make you lose your hair or destroy your kidneys. You can say goodbye to little or no sexual life at all. Home Herpes Resolution will help you get rid of herpes completely and cheaply in less than 30 days. In fact, I want to share with you one thing from inside the guide that could help you ease those outbreaks. Even though I speak a lot about how your diet should be, I also mention the fact that you need to avoid consuming too much arginine, which is a semi-essential amino acid that the body can make itself, but not in large sufficient amounts. In my research and in my clinical studies, I've discovered that arginine intake is associated with herpes outbreaks, and the cause for this could be because that arginine produces nitric oxide inside the body, which is responsible for cold sores. So you should avoid eating foods with high levels of arginine, like chocolate, peas, nuts, coconut, and wheat. On the other hand, one amino acid that helps your body to fight herpes is lysine, which can be found in large amounts in food like plain yogurts or Parmesan cheese. But there's a catch to eating lysine, and you need to be careful, because some foods that are high in lysine are also high in arginine. But if you get the guide, you'll be safe, because I've included a complete chart of foods with the exact ratio of lysine to arginine so that you can create your own diet. More about arginine, lysine, and everything else, including the exact steps you need to know to completely cure your herpes condition, can be found inside the guide. So how much is Home Herpes Revolution? Well, today I'm making Home Herpes Revolution available for just $39. Yes, you heard it right. Just $39. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why such a low price if the only other option would be to spend hundreds of dollars on pills every month for the next 10 to 20 years? And I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm offering it at such a low price because I want to help anyone feeling the same stuff I did. My goal isn't to make a fortune selling it. And the low sum of $39 is meant to cover the marketing costs and get something extra for the amount of time I've spent putting into it. Here's what some of the girls who have tried Home Herpes Revolution have to say about it. Jill, age 32 from California, shared her story and results, so I'll share them with you. I've suffered the pain and often embarrassment of genital herpes sores for over 3 long years until I found your product. I first tried Herpes Revolution approximately 4 months ago. I was skeptical, I must admit, about a non-prescription that would work. I must say, Herpes Revolution gave me nearly instant results. My lesions healed so quickly I couldn't believe it. Thank you for this awesome product. It has truly been a blessing to me. Theo, age 27 from Texas, said, I tried so many products that claim to prevent outbreaks, and they've not been successful. Herpes Revolution has helped me to keep the cycle of outbreaks under control. For the past year, twice a week, I've been applying your product, and I've yet to have any lesions. Thank you so much for making this amazing product. You've changed my life. Bethany, age 49 from New York, said, I didn't know what to do when I found out I had genital herpes. I thought my life was absolutely over. I felt betrayed by my longtime partner. I thought I would never get through this. Your product is amazing and your customer service is the best. When I thought I had nowhere else to go, you came to my rescue. Thank you so much for being there. I have so much trust in this guide that I'm willing to let you test it risk-free for 60 days and see if it works for you the way it worked for hundreds of other people who were tired of paying thousands of dollars a year on over-the-counter medications just to keep their herpes under control. If at the end of the 60 days you're not happy with the results you've got, simply email me and I'll refund your entire investment of $39, and I'll let you keep the product, no questions asked. Just imagine how it would feel to not constantly worry about your herpes condition, or how next time you meet someone and you want to get the relationship to another level, you won't have to scare him by revealing the facts about your problem. Go ahead, click the buy button at the bottom of this page and change your sex life, your love life, and your social life forever. If you're still here, then you might have some questions or concerns, which I'll try to address. One question I constantly get sounds like this. If there's a permanent cure that can completely remove the herpes virus, why don't the doctors or the pharma companies promote it? And every time I hear this question, I give them the same answer. A $100 billion pharma company can't patent and profit long-term from a permanent solution. They want you to keep buying acid clovir, famciclovir or valacyclovir and have no reason to sell a one-time solution. 2. I'm not sure yet if I should get the guide or not. Can I return to the site in a few days after I give it some thought? I don't want to force you, but the truth is I'm constantly getting threatening emails from pharma companies asking me to take the website down. Also, I've already mentioned the 60-day double money-back guarantee that you can use if you're not happy with the results you've got after using this. Just email me and I'll give you your money back and let you keep the guide. 3. If I buy the home Herpes Revolution right now, will my payment information be secure? The answer is, without a doubt, yes. All payments are processed through a specialized 3D party payment processor that processes millions of payments every year. So you have nothing to worry about because they have a very secure system that can handle all of that volume. 4. Does it matter when I contracted HSV-2? No, it doesn't matter when you contracted the virus. The natural treatment that I show you in the guide will work. But of course, there might be cases when it won't remove herpes permanently because nothing is 100% sure. But for unique cases like these, I offer you the 60-day money-back guarantee. 5. After I buy the guide, will I need to buy anything else in order to apply the treatment? Yes, you'll have to buy something, but it won't cost you more than $20 to $30 depending on the place where you choose to get it from. So go ahead, click the buy button while this offer is still available. And before you do that, here's a story that happened to a guy trying to have sex with a girl who had herpes and his thoughts. So I met this beautiful girl at a club. She danced with me all night. We made out. I couldn't take her home that night because she didn't want to. So I called her a few days later. We went on a date. It went well. We made out. I went home. So the next date, I invited her to this bar that I usually go to and know almost everybody there. So I go with this pretty girl and all my friends that were there thought I was the coolest guy. We had a few drinks. I invited her to my place. She came. We were making out. I got her in my bedroom. When I was ready to pull her pants down, she said, "Stop. There's something I need to tell you." I asked her what, and here's what she told me. I have a condition that my ex gave me. He was cheating on me, and he gave me herpes. Then she showed me. Her vagina looked so bad. It had outbreaks all over it. I can't even describe how it looked, but thank God she told me because I was so close to doing her. So I stopped and I was nice to her after 1 hour of talking and hanging out, and she left and I never called her again. Ugh, I've never been so close to getting an STD. That's what guys feel about this condition. If you're single, I know you're afraid and you can't find the man of your dreams because of the current health problem. But once you try Home Herpes Revolution, you won't have this problem anymore. Even if you're married, the guide can still help you because you don't have to be constantly thinking about how to protect your husband from getting this condition. Push the buy now button and make the right first step to get rid of herpes.